Slade, a good player, just a really strong midfield there.
And from Glenelg, the talk in the off-season was mostly about Brett Backwell. What a decision he made. As we look at his ring finger there, now he had all sorts of problems for a couple of years with that finger. In the end, the tendons were gone, shot, and so his finger was constantly at that angle, and he made the decision to amputate that finger so that he could continue to play football. We see there Brett Backwell, and just 9 fingers, as we point out.
It's a big call, isn't it, to have your finger chopped off, but it showed how much it was obviously worrying him, and from all reports, it's been a good decision on his behalf.
Absolutely. Sodas, what's the other news from the Tigers?
Well, at the Tigers, they are missing a couple of young guns today. Under-17 Australian players, and the captain is Bryce Gibbs, and also James Seller, who kicked 4 goals on debut against Norwood a couple of weeks ago. They're off playing for Australia against Ireland. They both played pretty well at the Telstra Dome on Thursday night. Now, after narrowly going down in round 1 to Norwood by 11 points, the Bays bounced back last week. They had a great win against the Eagles. And new coach, Mark Micken, he coached previously at the Eagles. He's been in an assistant role at the Power and also the Crows. He's loving it, being back as the #1 man.
Good. I find them, this group, to be very responsive. They're, you know, really committed to the cause. They've really got behind what we're trying to do at Glenelg, and you know, we've got a leadership group that's really developing as we go, and yeah, it's an exciting place to be at the moment. There's a lot of things happening, and the reserves are playing very well, so there's some depth there, some good form at the reserve level. So you know, at the moment we're feeling, you know, okay about it so far. Yeah.
Well, good luck today, mate, and here's your ABC Easter egg to celebrate the season.
Thanks very much, Slater.
ABC sparing no expense there. Look, he mentioned that they had good form in reserves. They will need that depth this season.
They certainly will, and that has been probably the question mark in the last few years. Burdett coming in, though, today for one of those young guns who's not there. He's been playing great footy in the reserves and getting a lot of it, so it'll be interesting to see how he steps up. McConnell, a very good addition to the team over summer and has had an impact at Glenelg already this year.
And so does the sun is sneaking through, and you must be enjoying that.
I certainly am, Neil. Great day to be on the boundary. Picture perfect, in fact, the Adelaide Oval. We're expecting a top of 20 degrees. It's around that at the moment. It will be pretty warm for the players. Maybe even the ice vests could make an appearance during quarter time and three-quarter time. No real breeze to speak of, just gently pushing down the northern end. But it is an absolutely magnificent day here at Adelaide Oval for these 2 big games.
Thanks, Sodas. Sit back and enjoy. And for the first time this season, it's welcome to Michael Maney.
Isn't it wonderful to have football back on the ABC? Round 3 action. Ruckman go at it. Kirk down. Taken out of the centre by Logan. Missed Mitchell. Hard at it, Logan. Head down. Quentin Graham in there. Hinge. It would be fairly fierce, you would expect. And the umpire says ball it up. Jiggy, pretty fast and ferocious, you'd expect that.
Logan certainly set the scene there, didn't they? He hit through the footy and took the body with him.
Ball to ground, no free kick. Thomas acting captain today. Taken by Douglas, who's been prominent. Short kick. Marked by Mitchell. We know he can thump the ball a long way, Mitchell. Goes inboard to Backwell. Backwell's found Mills on his own. He's drifted forward, Ben Mills, the new captain of the Glenelg Football Club. Very popular player. Chips it back inboard. Fisher, his first touch of 2006. Last year's best and fairest. Squares it back up into the centre of the ground. This is Sundqvist. Former Glenelg player, went to Sydney. Hinge. Just on the half volley. Oh, broke away too easily. Long kick by Hinge to the square. Doldig just had to come from behind. Ball close to the boundary, taken across. And a boundary throw in. Matthew Slade on screen.
Glenelg certainly just chipping it around there, aren't they? Around the 50 line, trying to find someone to target up forward. But you'd like to get it in a little bit quicker in my own views there, mate.
Chance for Gowans. This is Chris. Back he goes to Thomas already, had a couple of touches. That wasn't so great. Symes handled it well. Now Graham, and he'll use out the back Thomas again. Symes, they clear it to the far side. They've got an opportunity to go through the middle through Symes. He's run a long way. Got the kick out the centre wing. And across there, coming across Sherwood. He couldn't take possession. McKenzie taps it out. And now Good tackle coming in by Fisher. Umpire will call my ball.
Glenelg certainly have improved their tackling over the summer. There's no doubt about it. They're hitting the body, getting to the player a lot quicker at this stage.
Well, Mark Micken suggested pre-game they'd worked on their fitness, and I guess that allows you to get to more contests. They push it away out the back to Logan. He is a left footer inside 50. Nice disposal, and Rogers just rocked it on the lead. Logan comes in again, couldn't get position. Comes out eventually and slammed on the boot by Mitchell, out of bounds on the full. No score in this match, but it's been very positive from the Bays' point of view.
Well, they've had all the footy at the moment. Logan coming through 50 there. Do you look at going to goals? You know, he's got a good kick. He's on the run. It was a good pass, but didn't get held. That was the problem.
Rogers needs to do a fraction better of that. Good form last week. 4 goals, 1. Long kick to half-back. Spots up Scorer. Outstanding ruckman for the Bulldogs. Has been over a period of time. Sivanala off half-back. Slade cuts through the middle. This is good play to Symes. Symes looks forward. Good lead. This is Ware. Missed all of last season, virtually with a knee injury. Ware kicks into the pocket. Sunfest. His target was Cowan. Cowan comes round to Chris Gowans. The underground handball. No, that's not Marco Bello. The number 7 player there was O'Sullivan, the former Werribee player, but he straws one flag. So the Bulldogs are on the board in 2006.
Starting on the bench for the Bays nearest to camera is Mark Ruwald. In the centre, Lucas Block, who last year wore number 30. This year he's swapped. He's going to wear number 8. And Trevor Cranston will come into the side this week.
AFL rules have been adopted in the SANFL, so no waiting, no delay from the kick in. Slade, they've got it to centre the Bays, and now back come the Dogs. Graham, forward-looking hand pass, finds that man you just mentioned, O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan runs to 50, kicking long, and he won't quite make it. Marked on the line by Panozzo, in a bit of trouble. Freed up Sunquist down the outside, or the outer side of the ground. Again, nice disposal from the Bays. Again, that was something that they talked about working on in the off-season. Mitchell, he could probably kick a goal from here. From 60, lines it up. There's a goal.
That was much better play by the Bays then. You can see that they got it in the back line. Quick movement, long direct play, hit the body, and then Mitchell, as you see, he's got a thumping kick here. Outside 50. Beautiful leg, though, and he doesn't miss too many. But that quick, long delivery was certainly the key there.
As Neil Cross mentioned, and isn't he happy about it too, David Mitchell, he can kick them from anywhere. Real ball burster. He's had a bit of the football so far too. He's been lurking, found some space on this vast ground. I've been saying that the Dogs, for a long period of time, have had Scorer in there. He's got his work cut out for him today. High kick, and the mark taken by Smith at centre half forward. A couple of leads. Douglas, I think it is, just pushes off. Good play. That was legal. Umpire Pfeiffer right on the ball there. Richard Douglas on the Crows list. He has had a promising start to this season. Nick Tigwin.
He's been very handy for Glenelg. Just a smart player there. You can see got the central player under the footy, then just gave him a little push, went back and took an easy mark.
Promising cricketer, Richard Douglas. From 15 metres out. Makes no mistake. The Bays get a couple in a minute and a half.
Yeah, he's a classy player, isn't he? You can see that. He's going to be a very good player in an AFL team. The Crows at some stage. See that little nudge there? Just got the player under the footy and then finished off with a lovely kick. Not an easy shot from there. You're only 15, 20 out, but on that 45-degree angle, it finished very well.
Son of a gun, and Wilson was the player who was pushed under the ball. Adrian Wilson. And Richard Douglas, the recruit this season via the Crows. Schooler with the better of that knock. Looked like there was holding. Slade will be penalised. And the free kick will go to Fisher. Fisher, not the best of hand passes. Mules did well. Then he went long looking for Doldig, got a hand to it. Off to Hyde, bit slow. Bays are hunting at the moment. Comes back to Doldig, that's off the side of the boot, now to bounds on the full. But they really are hunting, aren't they?
Logan's getting a lot of hard footies there and setting up a lot of play there. He's certainly been very busy early.
This man's been busy early as well. Paul Thomas spent a year with Essendon, played 8 games, 2004 McGarry medalist, playing 8 games with Essendon, and then they said thanks for that, goodbye. Somewhat of a surprise. Dangerous kick across goals to a lead from Symes, as if they were kicking to the scoreboard end. Symes now to Thomas. Lots of touches early. We'll get on to Ian Mogridge in a minute, who joins us for season number 300.
That's right, Neil. This is Paul Thomas's 300th possession. No, it's actually his 6th. 4 kicks, 2 handballs.
Just a little carried away with our numbers thus far. James Gowans. So what have they had? 5 positions there, and they're still in the forward back pocket, I should say. He kicks long. Westhoff takes the mark. Tall wingman. Left footer. Awkward left foot. Ware turns around, drives it long down to half forward. Great kick, good spot up, and Gowans, Chris, going backwards, and umpire says that is a mark, and Chris Gowans doesn't look well after that. Possibly his back, the way he fell then.
It's courage, though, isn't it? They're great players, the Gowans brothers, and Chris just backing back there.
Inside 50, over the back, Ben Moore. Moore couldn't quite control it, now on the ground, does well, gets it out of there. Mitchell off the ground was dangerous. Graham. Awful kick.
Quentin Graham. Let's go to the Centrals bench. Mark Soderstrom.
Well, they've got a debutant on there, 20-year-old Reece Francis from Malala. He's good in the trials. He's playing today. Alan Obst, who was picked up by the Crows in the draft last year. And Chad Norsworthy, who made his debut last week, equipped himself well with 18 possessions.
Just itching to get on the ground. Dutschke. Well, we know he's a high flyer. Can he kick a goal? I don't think so. He's missed everything. Scott Dutschke, we saw him last year in a couple of games. He knows how to take a grab. Here we go. Gee, our boys and the cameras are in good form early on ABC television. There's Dutschke. Long kick. At the back, McKenzie will take it. Goal was touched off the boot. Cowan just laid it back to Officer. His kick run down by Hinge. Smith, who's had a bit of it, to Moore. Moore with a bit of pace. He'll get through Cowan all right. Just has to dish off to Backwell. Backwell kicks to an open forward line. Bouncing ball. Thomas, cool and calm. Quentin Graham's got Schooler in a kilometre of space on the grandstand side. Schooler can set it up to Chris Gowans. Ball going well. Slade's in a bit of space at half forward. Mules goes back. Big flyer at the back. Couldn't take the mark. Ball caught underneath, and a lot of players with their hands in the air. Umpire says, give it to me. We'll have a ball up.
And I nearly took that Graham, had a good leap on it, but just couldn't hold it in the end.
Douglas got one high. Hit the second goal of the day for the Bays. Got a big future. Just kicks it back. Thunquist over the top. This is McConnell. The long sleeves. Today it's around 20 degrees in Adelaide. Cool customer. Just wants to nab it in short. And the mark's been taken by Burdett.
Burdett taking his time. Mules in a bit of space. Sherwood's on this side of the ground. He goes through the centre. That's what you like to see. Still Sherwood running on this side of the ground. Doldig with the ball in the middle. Hesitates back to Mules. Boy, is he being marked off that half back line? He's got plenty of space. What a kick. Good finish. That's what you want from your half back line. Mules just running unattended, and Rogers getting on the end of the pass.
Benny Mules, he's, as Michael said, the skipper this year, and he's a quality bloke and certainly setting things up early off that half-back line.
Aaron Rodgers, originally drafted by Melbourne in 2001, spent 2 years there for no games and ended up in Sydney and eventually dropped off their list to come to the Bays. And that's a good start for Aaron Rodgers. And what a start for the Bays. They've got 3 on the board.
Certainly a good finish by Rodgers there. He kicked 4 last week, as mentioned earlier. Here's the pass, just slotted out, found Rodgers lurking out there on his own and finished off with a good kick. The Bays have started every game this season very well and been had 4 or 5 in front in most games. Against Nord, the first one, they got pulled back, so it'll be interesting to see if they can maintain it.
Well, they got 6 up against Nord, wasn't it? About 35 points.
That's right.
Nothing wrong with the goal kicking so far. 3 straight. Good start by Glenelg. And they keep it going. Schooler out of the ruck. Tried to find O'Sullivan with the quick hands. Couldn't do so. Just noticed the Bays, Nick, they really do look a lot fitter this year.
They certainly do. I think there's a lot of young lads in the team too, so they're naturally going to just run and be very enthusiastic. So Mark and Mick have done a good job over the summer, got the boys fit, and certainly playing attacking football.
Perfect conditions to play on, no excuses. Backwell just hacked it out of there, but it might come unstuck. Thomas has got to get round one. That's a brilliant tackle by Mills. Backwell taken to the line by O'Sullivan, and well, if he had his hair dyed a little bit darker or something like that, Marco Bello made that number so famous, didn't he?
Bit of amusement, I reckon, about Chris Grant, the general manager at Centrals. I think he hands out the numbers to players who look like the ones who were previously in that number.
Thanks for that, Chris. It really helps us up here in the commentary box. High kick. O'Sullivan, the man of the moment from Werribee. This is Pinozzo. He's got around a couple, and oh, he's going to run into trouble here, and Slade's got him. Brilliant tackle and chase by Matthew Slade, and Pinozzo just that bit indecisive, Nick.
He was. He's usually he's quick and usually can pull away from players, but obviously a lack of torque there. He had no idea that there was someone coming up behind him.
Chicky, plenty of action here on the wing. Benny Moore and Chris Gowans just reacquainting themselves, not seeing each other over summer, and of course just waiting for James Gowans just to pop over the back. I'm looking for him.
It's unlike Chris, isn't it?
Best of friends, those two. Matthew Slade from 47. Gives it a fair ride. It's going to just make it, I think. Dogs get their first of the afternoon. And Matthew Slade will always give you 100% no matter where he is.
There's no doubt about that. He's been a very good player for a fair while there at Centrals. Great tackle there. Just the chase. Always never was going to give in, and then finish it off with a good goal. Only just got there, but did finish it off.
So we leave the quarter there and tell you that at quarter time, the Bays were leading by 20 points. Aaron Rodgers, most impressive indeed. Glenelg, overall impressive. Rodgers kicking 2 goals. And as we look through those stats, lots of handballs from the Central side, but very much under pressure. The centre breaks the key there. 5-1 in favour of the Tigers. We're going to go now to the second term and pick it up at the 17-minute mark. The Bays have kicked 3 goals early in the second quarter, and they lead the match by 42 points.
Quarter 6-0 as well.
And the pressure right on Centrals. And the rolling maul develops again. Elijah Ware picks it up and takes off. Good pace from the young man. Inside 50 with the kick. And Willits was good. Gave it out the back. And the Bays will get another opportunity to clear. Now, is that deliberate? No, it's not, because it's not out of bounds. That was a good bounce for Westhoff, and he's taken down in the tackle. And block was the one, and it was deliberate if it went out. It was just the way the ball bounced, but you've seen that under the new rule interpretations. Clearly, I think the Bays were looking for the line then. So now we get a ball up. In fact, might have gone over. Here's McConnell, who damaged his ankle earlier in the quarter. Ball out of bounds now. And so does just with McConnell, what is the story there?
Well, he actually copped a knock just on the right shin, so he's had a little bit of work from the physio there. He looks okay. He's changed the boots while he's there. The Adelaide Oval in such super nick that he's gone with the short stops.
Well, given he's fresh to SANFL football this season, he perhaps doesn't know how good the Adelaide Oval is. Bays working hard at half back. They spring it, well done. They've got the numbers. Backwell goes down looking for Doldig. Doesn't make it that far. Smith, commanding presence across half forward. Gets it off to Moore. Now for Doldig around the corner. The bounce will be important. Doesn't favour Doldig. And Officer clears it back to off to Hyde, and they'll look to spring it on the far side of the ground.
Norsworthy just from half back. Kicks it long. Thomas has got to run onto it. Good pace. Good work there by Ruwalt just to hold it up. Hands and knees, Sundqvist. This is Francis. And they're inside 50, the Bulldogs. What can they do? Nothing on this occasion. Sherwood tracks it to the line. Nothing going right for the Dogs at the moment. I think Roy Laird's swung a few changes out there, but nothing seems to be working for the Dogs at the minute.
No, inside 50 wasn't really convincing coming in, or no real target to hit coming in, but they're there.
Schooler and Cranston got one in the back for sure. The free kick as Schooler pleads his case. Backwell could have mucked that up. Good work by Slade. He may go off the ground. Under pressure, the Bays. Can they keep it in? Panozzo did all right to Sundquist. His kick finds Hinge at half-back. Hinge into the centre of the ground. Good use of the football again. Douglas. Sweeping handball. This is Sherwood at half-back. The kick looking for Willets. Ryan Willets, an emerging player. Needs some good solid game time this year, Douglas. This is the way that Mark Micken has them playing. Just hold up proceedings. Just wait for something to open up. The Dogs have pushed back. So Douglas doesn't have much to kick to. Hinge has cut through the centre of the ground. The umpire's going to give him the hurry up to say, get on with it. He does now. He'll hope for a mark from Smith. Good play by Obst. Was that deliberate? The Bays players say it was. There's another change down there, Mark Soderstrom. They're coming thick and fast.
Yeah, the little pocket dynamo, Matty Slade, just coming off for a spell. And Chad O'Sullivan, who's been pretty impressive this year so far since crossing over. And he looks all right. He's a bit of a goer up forward, certainly to replace Marco Ballet.
Again, ball in dispute, half forward. Half forward right.
Chad O'Sullivan had 11 possessions in the first quarter. Hasn't touched the ball this quarter, though, as you saw, he just came off the bench.
McKenzie perhaps had the best of that. Smith with the tackle, and Wilson was the victim.
Very scrappy at the moment, isn't it?
Just a lull in proceedings. Bays, perhaps Centrals won't mind it. They'll stop the Bays run just a bit, but the Bays also be quite content at the moment. They're in control. 21-minute mark of the second term. And that margin, yes, if you've just joined us, 42 points in favour of Glenelg against the reigning Premier Centrals. And they've got a free kick here too. McKenzie has to surrender the ball to Smith. Drops the ball inside 50. Nice little pass, and that man Mitchell, again, we stress, even into the breeze, he's every chance from this sort of distance.
I think you're right, Neil. There is a bit of breeze out there, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes. If anyone can make the distance, he will. He's got such a powerful leg, but I would still tend to think it has got the chance to drop short.
Chicky, that breeze has picked up in the last 10 or so minutes. It certainly wasn't around at the start of the game. It is a tough kick, and it's right into his face here.
Made the VFL Team of the Year in 2004, made the move to the Bays, then kicked 46 goals last season. David Mitchell from 50 starts it out to the left, fades it back, and just through for the minor score.
And that breeze certainly probably the factor why that Glenelg have missed a few shots this quarter, but they still would be a little bit disappointed. They could have another 1 or 2 on the board.
They've taken a few shots from a reasonable distance out too, Nick, which has really probably cost them. Thomas showing plenty of pace. Even McGarry, medal winning style with the run and the bounce, but not the kick. He let himself down with, but he's just trying to get his team going at the moment. You can see that, trying to do something. McConnell back on. Spears a kick and finds Doldig, but he lets him down. Obst with a very, very high kick. Cranston under it and kept his eyes on the football, and that is a lovely mark. Under a bit of pressure from Chris Gowans, and well, they are going to struggle with that, the Gowans boys, all year, but you've just got to quickly make the adjustment.
Well, and the umpires know that they're tough, hard footballers, so they're going to be watching them, and they're probably harder on them than most.
Cranston got it away to McConnell. Moore trying to find some space. Good tackle by Slade, one of the best in the business. Smith, McConnell. It's the handball out in front of himself. Good work by Officer, takes him to the line. No free kick there. McConnell trying to be a bit elusive, a bit of verbal, and that won't mind those boys. Plenty of chat. James comes in for a bit of a talk, and then they're going to give a free kick against him.
Well,
and that might be 25.
the Gowans boys, they've just got to stop it now because they're actually really hurting their team. This is going to cost them a goal. And whilst their intention is to fire the guys up, the last thing they can afford is to be giving away goals at this stage.
Well, the wheels are off in this first half for the Dogs. They haven't been able to register a score, and we've ticked into 24 minutes, so McConnell has kicked one.
Not an easy kick, this one, either.
He needs to kick it fairly hard and low.
And this breeze will push the ball away from the goal, so you're right, boys, very tough kick.
Our goal-kicking expert, Mark Soderson, tells us that he's done just that. And he's popped through his second goal, and amazingly, Glenelg out by 49 points.
Down's getting dragged.
Let's just turn
There
the
he goes.
effects mics off down here on the boundary line because I'm sure he'll fire up here, no doubt about that.
But you can see, probably had to make an example of him in that situation, and if you're a coach, you'd probably do exactly the same thing. So disappointed, and he'd hate it, but he can probably see why he's been dragged.
Well, with James Gowans dragged, Justin McConnell introducing himself to the Gowans boys in South Australian footy in a big way. Now that'll be a free kick play on. McConnell slips around the back, just drives it down to half forward. Didn't have too many options, so went for distance. Bays have numbers now, 2-on-1 over the ball. They can't spring it. That could have been in the back. It could be holding the ball, and it could be a bounce, and we'll get the latter of those three options.
That takes the free kick count this quarter into double figures for the Bays, 10-0.
Yeah, and it's interesting stat that, but Glenelg are at the footy first, and Centrals are giving away some undisciplined frees.
The count that really counts is 4-0. They've done it well, the Bays, and they've looked organised, and they've looked like they are capable of, with precision, taking the ball in forward, although not that time. Now, Chris Gowans gives it to the pace of Elijah Ware. He's almost dragged down. Crunch. Big Shepherd coming in there from Cowan. Elijah Ware goes long to the goal square, and Sherwood does very well. Knocks it over the boundary line. And that'll get the applause of the Bays fans. McKenzie says, hang on, I was being held. No free kick. What was that count again?
McKenzie, a big, strong bloke, so Sherwood did well in that situation. Ball coming in quick, high and long. Did well to not let a goal get scored.
Centrals are set up. They desperately need a goal. Haven't had a score in this quarter. And it's getting pretty late. We'll get another ball up pretty late. Well, 26.5 minutes into the quarter. It can't get much later. The first term, the opening term, went 30 minutes. McKenzie tapped it back. Mules was quick. Cranston lost the ball. Oh, Douglas. And well done by Backwell. He was tackled. He could have been called for dropping it. Got the foot to the ball. Didn't go 15. Now Backwell, another opportunity. Mishandled the ball.
In the situation there, you can always see Glenelg, someone to turn and give the footy to. Great tackle there. Thomas didn't see him, but got rid of the ball in the end.
Can the Dogs kick a goal? That's the burning question. Goalless in this term. Here's a chance for Chris Gowans. Lovely kick he's dealt with after he kicked that pass to Elijah Ware. And goes on with it as they only know how. Just a bit of push and shove, nothing in that, but Elijah Ware. Let's have a look at it, Nick. Not much in this after.
Like it's probably a little late, but he was committed, and I think probably Glenelg can't argue this call.
Not too bad. Elijah Ware. Good to see him back in football. Good looking kick by Ware, and the Dogs get their first of the quarter, and not before time at the 27, nearly 28-minute mark. That is a pretty good kick from Elijah Ware.
That was an excellent kick. The breeze just really pushing down that end. They only had to sit it up in front of the comeback. This Gowans, as you can see, Cranston committed there, but probably a little bit sloppy in the end. And the umpires chance to make one up there for Chris. That was a lovely kick though, again on a tight angle, but with the breeze pushing down that way, certainly just sit it up in front. We'll go through. Backwell looks like he's got something wrong with that finger that he's missing.
Cut. The finger that's missing.
Here's Thomas out of the middle for Centrals, driving long. Willets in good position, drop what he should have taken perhaps. Now's an opportunity again for the Bays to clear. Hinge got his hands free, gave it up. O'Sullivan chipped it across. Officer at 60. Nice kick inside 50, and the excellent hands of Elijah Ware with a chance to give them a little bit to go in with at half-time. 2 goals in a couple of minutes. So does, what is the story of Brett Backwell there?
No, he's not too bad. Just popped the finger out, so they'll pull that into place and he'll be right. He's a tough little nut, as we know by him having that finger lobbed off last year, so he'll be fine.
That's all he needs. More problems with another finger on the other hand. Elijah Ware misses.
Disappointing for Centrals there. Like, if they got that goal there, then they're coming, you know, come out of the quarter not too bad. But it was a lovely mark, lovely lead and lovely mark by Elijah, but just couldn't finish off with the goal.
Very, very strong hands out in front. Sherwood's got it at half back, and they're just working the time at the moment, the Bays. This is Sundqvist. Kicks down the line. Willets has got to go on hands and knees and couldn't complete it. Douglas in there, tackled. Umpire says ball it up. Another goal would be interesting for the Dogs if they do get that one. And as Neil Cross said, just gives them something to take into to half-time with and say, look, we're not all that far away. In goes Francis. Douglas on hands and knees. Big Mackenzie's claimed him, and he's put the hand up, and there it is. Douglas the one making all the play, but that's the way it is. This rule. A free kick goes to Chris Gowans. That tally growing steadily for the Bulldogs there.
Going up logarithmically, isn't it?
Just absolute courage, and Luke Cowan's being dealt with on a couple of teammates of Jared Sundqvist, or is that Logan? Logan.
Just very courageous. He knew bodies, and that is pretty poor effort.
That's ugly.
But I don't think he might have just got the knee in the back of the head in the end. But
they certainly let him know he's around in big fashion. McConnell tries to find Sherwood, who's got to get around Cowan. Did all right. Duldig. Oh, that's a lovely mark. Just kept it in. A late goal from Glenelg will deflate the Dogs going into half-time. Oh, Douglas, he's everywhere. Oh, lovely kick, and spots up block, can't take the mark. Well done, Francis, for the Bulldogs. Norsworthy through traffic. I think he wanted the line, Norsworthy. Handball in. Moore, crunched, taken to ground. Did he have prior? Umpire Pfeiffer says no. We'll have the ball up.
that cross that came in there, Burdett tried to kick it, kick it off the ground, but probably should have tried to take it. Yeah, Benny Moore sandwich, the good old sandwich there.
I am impressed, although the new rules are in place, I'm impressed with the umpires. They just blow it up quickly and not afraid to bounce the ball or throw it up as they do in the SANFL. Get the game moving in a hurry. This time, Centrals clearing it away. Symes, they are under pressure. Thomas handled it well. Have to be an accurate kick. Nothing much to go to. There's the evidence of that. It's in dispute again. Turned over, Sundqvist. Back he goes. Moore tried to step around two. Got it out to Mules. Mules ducked under a tackle. Cranston now. Off he goes. They get it inside 50 again. Brooks can clear it. Oh, no, he can't. He's under pressure as well. The Bays tackling is just so impressive just at the moment. And the ball's out of bounds. Right half forward for the Bays, and they've kept it in their attacking zone.
The tackling has been excellent. I think they've just started to try to overuse the footy a little bit and probably allowed Centrals to get back into the game here a bit. The Centrals certainly getting a lot more of the footy in this last half of the quarter.
Well, you mentioned their two games thus far this season, the Tigers. Both times out by big margins. In the first game of the season against Norwood, they were run down, having led by around about that 6-goal margin. And against the Eagles, well, they were very impressive last week in winning. So, ball in just slightly Central's end of the ground, forward of centre. Oystock with a kick inside 50. McKenzie made good ground to the ball. Now he's in trouble. 2-on-1. He's got to release it. He does. Nicely done. The kick just didn't finish it off. Francis out on the full.
Did it well there, McKenzie. Did it really well. It's under a bit of pressure there, Francis.
Panozzo spots up McConnell, who marks in front of Westhoff, who hasn't had much of it. He's had a few mates, Westhoff, though, to be fair to him. Spreads the kick to Panozzo, so they attack down the outer side, the Bays, right on half-time. What an impressive quarter by Glenelg. 4 goals to 1 in that term. 10-6-66. Central's 3-6-24.
Just look through those goal kickers in the first half, and there were plenty, weren't there, for the Bays, with Rogers, McConnell with multiple goal kickers up forward. Just the singles for Centrals. The stats, Jiggy, well, they should tell a pretty clear story.
They certainly do. Glenelg, as you can see, a lot more kicks there, same amount of hand passes, certainly controlled that quarter. Centre breaks is probably where it's at. You know, they've had 9-2, so winning it out of the centre and causing some damage there.
The margin 42 points at halftime in favour of Glenelg. Here's Michael Maney. Second half.
Start of the third quarter at the Adelaide Oval, round 3 of SANFL football. Glenelg lead by 42 points. Westhoff in hard for the Doggies. Secondary bounce in the middle, umpire 5 for the umpires have been pretty good so far this afternoon. Nick Chigwidden, I think they've been okay.
Yeah, I don't think you can argue there. Glenelg certainly got a good end of this free kicks in the second quarter, but I think they were all there pretty much.
Smith for the Bays, back ball, busy player. Just wait for some run. Got some from Fisher. Thomas for the late tackle. Fisher's kick, is it coming around? I think it did. Oh, that hurts. That will hurt the Bulldogs. Adam Fisher running in and kicking his second goal of the afternoon. It's out to 48 points. Just what Roy Laird would not have wanted.
Absolutely. Backwell just threw the player, gave it to Fisher, took his time, just snuck it in the end. But it was a good finish. Exactly what Glenelg would have liked to keep the momentum going. But Central certainly need to start pulling them back pretty quickly.
Well, how's this for a result? Well, it's not a result, but it's a result if you're a Tigers fan, I'm sure, at the moment. Defending premiers have been really given a shellacking thus far. Kirk in the middle, trying to get free, called for holding the ball. That'll please Gowans. This time it's Chris. James had a little bit of a tat-a-tate with the umpires in the first half. Chris drives long. McConnell was brilliant across half forward. Nicely done by Logan, and then Fisher missed the target in Willits. Had McConnell backing him up. Good on the left side, was he? Yes. Boundary umpire keeps the hands in the pockets.
But very close.
Mitchell spreads it to Sundquist. Nicely done. He takes off. Down to half forward with a kick to Backwell. Leading officer, a merry dance. And officer looked like he came over, and he did. And Backwell, gee, that was clever. He accentuated it. He went to kick the ball, and he said, hang on, he's too close. Another 25 metres.
That hurts again. Puts him probably 25 out now. Only a slight angle. Pretty well skilled, so he should kick this.
The 2001 JJ Liston Trophy winner in the VFL lines that up. And another goal of the Bays. Oh, enjoy it if you're a Tigers fan.
It's been a long time between drinks, so I'm sure the supporters will be loving it. But again, switch the play, put it out in front of Backwell, let him run onto it. As you said there, Neil, very much so. Threw the player in, so he came over the mark and finished off with the goal once he got his 25.
Brett Backwell had a bit of trouble with his hand at one particular stage early in the match. Seems to be okay now. 2 quick goals back in the centre. Ruckman nullify each other. Slade ducked the head. Connell, who was so impressive first half, to Kirk. He kicks it long, and a big fly from Douglas. Well, you can have a good run up and you can leap, but I tell you what, you've got to have the strength to be able to take the mark at the end, and what a grab it was.
He never looked like he was going to miss that, did he? Beautiful play. Glenelg just thumping him down to the centre at the moment. quick movement in, just puts the backman under so much pressure. And Douglas, he's been impressive with everything he's done today.
Talk about pressure. Won't there be someone if it goes out to a 10-goal lead? The kick comes around.
Well, what we've seen from Douglas today, you would have put your house on that, wouldn't he? He's got silky smooth skills, he's got poise, he's just a quality player. Again, the big fella Kurt, pretty agile for a big man, gets it in quickly. That's a great grab, just one take, never looked like he's going to miss it. And he's a very exciting young talent.
Nick, just on Richard Douglas last year, he was voted by the coaches in the under-18 comp in Victoria as the most valuable player. And you've seen a bit of him this year, mate. He looks like he's going to play for the Crows, and perhaps the Tigers won't see him for a long time.
No, I think you're right there, Soda, and if you're a Crows fan, you'd be pretty excited with the future for this kid with the Adelaide Footy Club.
Well, and all that, we sort of forgot Kirk. Gee, that was good delivery for the big guy. He had players flanking him out of the middle, and he elected to kick it himself. Mules looked like he pushed Chris Gowans or James Gowans in the back, and Gowans is down. He looks like he's a little bit sore after that. We'll get Sodas to keep an eye on him as it goes inside forward 50 yet again for the Bays. Logan yet again tough, and he's pulled it in. He's gone.
Oh.
He has gone.
He probably was there, but he just hits the body hard, doesn't he? Put his head over it and goes in. Bit stiff, got the free against him.
Well, that vision you just saw looks like James Gowans up and running again. Wilson, nice, just a little shove off on Sundqvist. Almost felt sorry for Wilson. He was sitting under that ball before, and Douglas was coming when he took that big mark. Well, Tigers fans, of course, wouldn't have been feeling sorry for him, but you could just see it was going to happen. He goes down to half forward with a kick. It's out of bounds.
Neil, just with the Gowans boys there, it might be a case of James feeling Chris's pain with that twin feeling, because it was actually Chris who received a heavy knock in the first term just on his glute or his hip, so he's a little bit tender there.
Looked like an elbow or something there that he's rubbing, but didn't really see it.
McConnell might have just got trodden on the arm or something like that. McConnell, half a dozen bounces it seems, to the outer side, finds Panozzo. Panozzo's been a handy player for them this afternoon. Needs to step up. This mid-range players from Glenelg that have been around a while really need to step up, and they have. Good by Kirk to Sherwood. Sherwood to Douglas. He went a bit early, the young man. This is Wilson. A couple of important touches for him. Handball not so good. James Gowans went without it. You don't see it often. Smith tries to get it out of there. It ends up with Sherwood. So scrappy bit of play. Sundqvist kicked off the ball, or knocked off the ball, but got his kick away. More over it. Chris Gowans tries to keep it in, and the umpire will bounce. That's a good call by the umpire. Just bounce it. Ball just caught underneath.
Yeah, and it's pretty hard to be critical this afternoon, but they at times are overdoing the hand pass. But as I said, that's pretty hard to be critical when they're in this position.
It's a bit, yeah, that's right. They're 10 goals up and things are working pretty good for them, so they're probably trying a couple of things. Kirk got it back to Panozzo. Panozzo spears the kick and finds Rogers, who's butted 3, and we'll look at goal number 4 from right on the paint of 50. Change down there, Mark.
Just for Central Districts there, a quick change coming onto the ground. Chad Norsworthy, he was pretty good in his first game last week against Port Adelaide, coming off Lee Westhoff.
Rogers booted 4-1 last week. He's got 3-1 so far, so we can get to 4-1, and we've just ticked into 7 minutes of the third term. He'll have a tail breeze behind him. He gives it plenty, and it drifts away to the right. Not a bad kick, just didn't quite get the accuracy, but he's presenting so well.
I was just about to say, Michael, he's presented himself so well, given Glenelg a real target going forward, and that was just a excellent pass to Panozzo, I think it was. Low and hard, but the full forward presenting really well.
Central's really struggling here just to break that ball free from defence. Their kick in was awfully slow. Finally, Brooks down to the centre wing, hinged from behind. He just slipped perhaps on the turf. He was about to leap.
Top
like
ball
he
getter.
Just missed his step. Sorry, Moggy.
Yes, sorry. And the top ball getters in the first half of the Bays, Justin McConnell had 17, Ben Mules, Brett Backwell and Adam Fisher each had 14, and Richard Douglas 13. For the Dogs, Paul Thomas and Chris Gowans each had 16.
stalemate again. Centre wing will get a ball up. High run. James Gowans, every time he goes for the ball, he's holding that left arm, and we think he was trodden on, and obviously he's got some sort of bruising there, you would think. Sundqvist at the back, got the handball from Douglas, up to half forward for the Bays. Good from Smith, made the contest, hurt Wilson, Backwell with the kick, into the pocket. Nice mark taken by Rogers. And back behind play, Smith is feeling it after that collision with Wilson. And in the end, Rogers called the play on, the minor score while all that was happening.
Very clever by Smith there. He didn't even try to go for the mark, then saw Backwell on his own in front and just palmed it forward.
Aaron Rodgers continues to be a thorn in the side of the Doggies. Spots up James Gowans, got that from Officer. The kick to O'Sullivan gave him some work to do, but Symes is on hand. His best work to evade a couple and spread it to the outer side where Sibanala has had a difficult job on Smith. McKenzie looks pretty fit this year, Big Buckets. Gets it to O'Sullivan. Plenty of run through the midfield, draws a man. This is good by the Bulldogs. Obst kicks, looking for Ware. Over the back, can't take the mark. Desperate on the ground is the new skipper in Mules. For the Tigers, Willits mops it up. Well done, Panozzo. Now Willits goes back into Hinge, and that would look like a throw, but Willits jammed it on the boot to find the very, very clever Backwell, who's hemmed in on the boundary, and a good smother by Thomas. Sees it out of bounds. They could have done a bit better there. They did mess with the ball, as you said just a moment ago, Nick. Good call.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because they are supporting each other so well and got people there to use, which is encouraging people to get and support, but you do got to be careful you don't overdo it.
Backwell again, clever. Mules stood in the tackle, had support out the back. They swing it to Sherwood. Takes his time, gives it to the running Kirk. This is the big guy. He's a ruckman through the middle, clever. Gets the 1-2, still going. Away they go. Willits will line it up from the half-back line. He's run and kicked a goal. Oh, go back to that man, Kirk.
Very athletic, Kirk, the big man. Great run from a couple of big fellas. Watch Kirk here, himself in. Not scared to have a bounce, and you don't see that in a lot of big fellas. Through the player, kept running, kept supporting. Then Willits coming, another big man, and finished off with a goal. Just that run, that support, and the confidence to back yourself in. It's totally different Glenelg than we've seen over the last couple of seasons because they're playing with confidence and not scared to try things out.
Kicking with a breeze too. The big man working hard, and big Kirk gets it again to Logan. Quick hands to Moore, who can't on it but held. No free kick. Mitchell comes in. Good work by Symes. Obst to Schooler and back to Obst, and he kicks it high, but not to anyone's advantage. Hinge couldn't take it. O'Sullivan working hard on the ground, so too Hinge. And Norsworthy is kept it in. The umpire, well, that's against Panozzo, but it's going to Norsworthy, and that's one of those 50-50 jobs. I don't think it was really the player's fault, but Symes moves on to O'Sullivan, who'll have to get rid of it quickly. Gets it to James Gowans, kick smothered. Well done, McConnell. He's had a great game, McConnell. Hinge, somehow got to McKenzie. Short kick, I think that was Dutchke. No mark, ball thumped away. Mills is an outstanding player. Symes has just drifted forward. Got it to Gowans, Slade, Norsworthy, had Norsworthy on. Wilson gets around Moore, threw it on the boot. Long kick by Wilson is just away for a behind. Good movement by the Doggies, although it was a little bit staggered. At least they were going forward.
You can see Wilson can be a player, going to be a player though. He moves very well, got good skills. He'll be dangerous.
Bays quickly. Logan in the centre square. On to Ben Moore. He's got some pace. Moore inside 50 to Rogers. Couldn't take it. Books the pressure. It was illegal, said the umpire. It will be a free kick. And Rogers will line up for another one.
Interesting to see that again. It didn't look like a lot in it from here, but we weren't in the best position to see that.
Our cameras are. Let's have a look.
Yeah, you'd say it's a bit soft, really, wouldn't you? But Rogers lining up again. with the wind in his back.
Started out to the right, bring it back. Thank you very much. Another one to the bays.
Again, the run and the quick movement is the key there, getting it in. Rogers presenting himself really well again. Benny Moore running through the middle there. Had a couple of options and decided to go for Rogers. Had Golding out the other side as well, I think. And, you know, I think probably pretty lucky to get that free kick. It finished off with a lovely leg.
Just interrupt Moggy and ask you, 16 goals or 15 goals for the
No,
Bays?
I think they're crediting that for an away goal or something. It's only 15.
It's only 15. Our scoreboard's correct. The scoreboard of the ground just confused me for a moment.
I've been working on that for the last couple of minutes, Neil. I was wondering, where have I missed one? Where have I missed one? Back ball. Doesn't miss too many. He got a free too high. So it's all with the Bays at the moment. And a 25-metre penalty.
You look at those centre breaks, it's 11-4. It's absolutely killing Centrals at the moment.
Well, a long time before Glenelg were able to snag a win against the Dogs, and they got them last year, I think, Nick, didn't they? And maybe the confidence that they've gained from that has been enormous. And here's a man, David Mitchell, who will go back and look at goal number 2 for him.
It was round 9 last year. Interesting to note that, of course, Centrals did start with 3 wins and 5 losses and then peeled off the lazy 14 in a row to win the premiership yet again.
I think it's important for sides like Glenelg, who are going to finish sort of somewhere hovering either inside the 5 or just out, to win some early games, and they may snag this one as Mitchell kicks an absolute ballbuster.
He's got a lovely leg. We've mentioned it 2 or 3 times today. With that wind in his back, you certainly would have been confident he's going to kick that. A couple of probably undisciplined acts again. Centre square, Glenelg is absolutely doing really great stuff. And Backwell there, just at the footy. Then pinpoints Mitchell there. The skill level has been very impressive by Glenelg today.
And that forward line, Neil, is just so open. Rogers, Daldig, everyone's Douglas. They've got so many targets up there.
They've done some excellent work, obviously, in the summer. Here's Elijah Ware. He's been doing some hard work in the summer to get back and playing after he underwent a knee reconstruction. Unfortunately, a player fell across his leg when he was playing at Alberton against Port Adelaide last season. Umpire has spotted a free kick, a push, and Centrals will get the benefit. Quentin Graham.
He look fit to you, Quentin Graham?
There's a few of the guys not moving real well out there, and you do got to take into account Centrals have quite a few out, so I wouldn't be writing Centrals off this year.
Paul Schooler with the free kick, so 2 free kicks have helped Paul Schooler line up for goal. They last scored a goal at the 27-minute mark of the second term. In fact, since quarter time, they've only kicked the 1. Schooler goes back and lobs in another goal, so they kicked 2 goals, 2 in the last 2 quarters.
Yeah, there's a couple of frees there. Paul Sherwood, again, that might have been one for a make-up one for the Aaron Rodgers at the other end, because there didn't seem to be a lot in either of those either. So, but Centrals have got to look at, you know, stringing 2 or 3 in a row now to try to get a bit of credibility back.
First goal for Paul Schooler this afternoon. Big lead. Match-winning lead, you'd think. Gowan's over the top. Symes and Fisher. Nick Symes will get a free kick. And Adam Fisher, if you can read lips, you know, he wasn't too happy with that.
Well, he did just hold on that little bit too long. It's always a tricky one, those. Did let it go, but just a bit late.
Lost sight of the footy as well. But Brad Symes has had a pretty good game for the Dogs. So too this man, Thomas. Well, he's played across half-back, so the ball's been in his area quite a bit. Thomas.
19 possessions for Symes, 17 for Thomas.
They've been okay. Slade tried to knock it on. Panozzo somehow got it to Logan and won a free kick. It'll come back to Luke Panozzo.
See, Symes was averaging 35 touches in his first 2 games, so he's been finding plenty of the footy this year so far.
The change down there, Trevor Cranston about to come on Mark Soderstrom.
Yeah, just a change in the ruck, and Daniel Kirk having a bit of a spell. He's been in super touch, and some problems for Central Districts. Luke Cowan off the ground at the moment with some ice on his groin. He's had a tough pre-season with back problems. He spent just about the whole summer swimming in the pool, so that's just amounting to the problems Central have got at the moment.
Just a little bit underdone at the moment, the Dogs, but as Nick Chigwitten said, don't write them off, for goodness sakes. Mules kicks to the wing. Sibanala, ball will beat all the players out of bounds. What about Kirk in that first 10 minutes? There's Luke Cowan with the ice pack on. Looks very disconsolate, doesn't he? I don't think we'll see him play any further part. You wouldn't want to risk him.
No, there's a crowd over him coming into the game, so probably just had to play because they're short of numbers, and hasn't been a great call, probably.
James Gowans running on, gets a good shepherd from his brother. Inside 50 with the kick. Bayes work it through Sherwood. That's confidence. Sherwood drops it out wide to Burdett. Sunquist leads for Burdett. He doesn't like that option. There's the player in Slade who is shutting down Sunquist. So he goes back the other way. Sherwood says fair enough. Now Fisher. Fisher will go wide to Burdett again. He's in a bit of space. No, he goes for Sunquist. And the ball out of bounds. Matthew Slade perhaps working hard than he's maybe worked on during the pre-season.
Without those forward targets in Shell and Cowan, Central's have only taken 3 marks inside 50. Glenelg have taken 14.
Venture to say, a lot of those 14 haven't been contested. They've been beautiful delivery inside that 30-metre range where you can kick goals from. And now there's a little bit of...
The book's out. Yeah. Richard Williams, quick trigger finger. He's got the pen and the paper out, and he's taken down. Chrissy Gowan's got himself in trouble.
He's had a tough day, Chrissy Gowans. He don't look real happy with it.
Oh. Well, led with the forearm, so Trevor Cranston then came back.
He came back with the crow pack. Well, crow pack, and now back of the head. The schoolyard goes.
They always held a bit now, crow packs.
The old crow packs, they smart.
So there's Ruwalt coming on, number 17 down there. We just saw a shot of him. He hasn't seen much of the action, is that right?
Yeah, he hasn't been on at all, Neil, much at all. Actually, he's been on a couple of times, but just brief moments. The skipper, Benny Mills, coming off the ground, and he's pretty tired. Benny was that tired, he almost walked over to the Central bench to take a seat there.
Just the closest one. Lots of flyers in that pack. It comes down to Wilson. He's a left footer, and so he couldn't do anything there except handball it away. Cranston took it nicely and took the punishment. The Bays behind play. It's on there involving Obston, Cranston, and now Slade will stay with the football. They are being challenged in a big way, Centrals. Here's Douglas through the middle of the ground, up the centre half forward. They're working hard for each other, the Bays, and they're putting Centrals under pressure. Here's Thomas, nicely out the back, Norsworthy. Plenty of time now, he can deliver to Slade. That's cut off. Bounce, Ruwalt won't get the kick, but Cranston will. Basketball style, he delivers it. Play on, calls the umpire. Ruwalt now slips the hand pass out the back, and they work hard. Sunquist to Logan inside half forward. Great delivery again. Rogers again. And he goes to the middle, and McConnell has a chance. And Doldick tried to shepherd, and there was a push. And there'll be a free kick.
Yeah, knew he was going to get crunched there, McConnell. Just sitting there and the ball coming in pretty high.
We'll get another look at that header in a minute, but have a look at it. That's how it happened, and Brooks came through, and
yeah,
gee, legitimate challenge, surely.
Yeah, you're probably a bit lucky, but he certainly did go at the body there. Again, just putting the pressure on, not blazing away at goals, coming from the pocket, centering it again.
Well, yeah, they knew where they had to go. That's the most impressive thing about the Bays. They are going to the position they want, and McConnell from half-back has 3 goals for the afternoon.
McConnell's very much a modern-day half-back flanker, though. He plays a really attacking game, and there it is again.
Is that code for not defensive?
Yeah, well, it's all right when you're winning, but it can hurt you sometimes when it's a tight game. But he's been very damaging and uses the ball well, and as we've seen, finished off with 3 goals. You'd be happy with that from the half-back.
He's the top ball getter on the ground, 17 kicks and 6 handballs.
Man with a rock star hairdo. And there's O'Sullivan doing some stretching. Wearing the number 7 this year. Marco Bello has done the knee. going back to Victoria, and full new reco for Marco Bello, which is very unfortunate for him, and I think he might be at the ground somewhere here today. A lot of Central's players at the ground, they wouldn't be liking what they're seeing to their old side today. It hasn't been the best of days for them so far. Ball still in the middle of the ground. McKenzie.
Michael,
Yes,
just
Mark?
on Marco Bello there, you did say he did do his knee. He was playing for Nunawading in Victoria's eastern suburbs of Melbourne in 3rd division. So certainly a huge step down for him from the SANFL there, and popped the knee straight away.
Yeah, disappointing for Bello, and virtually hardly missed a... There's O'Sullivan. Hardly missed a game for Centrals. Here's Mitchell. That's gone 65 on the barrel. And Rogers couldn't get it on the chest. Can he kick a football? Thomas has been dealt with after his kick. Or is it coming back to Glenelg? A bit of rough shepherding off the ball.
Rewald, I think, is it?
Ruwalt? It is. And Trainer with a hand up, and here it comes. Oh, Sivanala, the culprit there.
Needs to keep those elbows down a bit.
And here's young Mark Ruwalt. Will line up for goal. Oh, he wouldn't this put a dagger in the heart if Ruwalt could kick a goal. Played 9 games and booted 8 goals. Mark Ruwalt, one of the up-and-coming players.
Yeah, he's got good skills and reasonably easy kick out. You think he should probably get this.
Well, distance shouldn't worry him from around 45. Awkward kicking style. Goal umpire says, I think that's over my head.
Didn't look great off the boot, did it? There was a bit of a helicopter or floater, but had the desired result in the end there. But certainly another undisciplined act here by Central. I suppose that's probably where we're allowed to be a little bit disappointed, I would think. There's been some pretty undisciplined acts there. The shepherd, the idea was right, but it just lifted the elbow, so finished off and hurt them with another goal.
Just got to keep them tucked in these days. You're just going to get caught.
Michael, Richard Douglas just coming off for a spell. The skipper coming back on the ground, Benny Mills to half forward.
One-way traffic at the moment. All good news if you're a Bays fan. Richard Whitman, he's so excited. Richard Douglas there. I did get the impression he was limping in the middle. He called for a change. Maybe twist an ankle or whatever, but he's taking that break just at the moment. Ball's still in stalemate. In the centre square, slightly towards Central's end of the ground. Nice breeze blowing here at the Adelaide Oval. Wonderful afternoon for football. Mitchell, oh, here's a chance from 60. He makes the distance, hooks it a bit, hooks it a long way. You could just see him light up and think, I can do this.
Got a little excited, didn't he, there?
He was thinking, I can put this somewhere into North Adelaide. So at the back, they work it to Officer. And now it'll come back to off to Hyde. They're not working hard enough, the Bulldogs, to make off to Hyde an offer. And as a result, he has to handball in front of him, and he's lucky there. Got a free kick for Doldig hanging on, and Doldig surrendered the ball. He'll go to Thomas, you'd think, back inside 50, maybe not. Off to Hyde. Gets a lead from Obst. Gets a lead from a couple of players, but in the end, he's taking his time. Umpire calls play on eventually. And a big punch coming. Symes taken out of play, or the ball was out of play before Ben Moore came in and tackled, but it really is static stuff from Centrals.
Just down here on the boundary, boys, Richard Douglas receiving some treatment on the calves. No problems at all there. Just the physio's working on him just to loosen him up before he comes back on. And Chiggy, the physio mentioned, can you bring home some milk and bread later, please?
Yeah, you keep an eye on her down there, Sada.
Big Chig Whitten's wife in the crowd this afternoon.
She's a physio.
Go, Saders.
I was going to say, Michael, she's not in the crowd. She's actually the physio, working beautifully there on the calves of Richie Douglas.
You didn't tell me that. You just thought she was
the physio, mate.
There she is, working hard. On those young legs of Richard Douglas.
Sure she's enjoying that.
She's enjoying it very much.
You've only got tired old legs.
I'll pass that on to her, Nick, just to just keep the hands down there.
Keep away from that groin area there. Ball up, over the top. Well done by Thomas. Chris Gowns, Westhoff, Symes. Just looking for Graham on a long lead, but set him a task for a big foot race between he and Willits did all right. This is good by Symes. Westhoff caught. Got it away, Officer. Just a high kick, O'Sullivan, good commitment by Willits. That's outstanding by the young man who's got Cranston in a bit of space in the centre of the ground. Cranston kicks, looking for Smith, just too far for him. Well played by Opterhide. Backwell's got to meet and take some medicine, he does. And Thomas takes him to ground. I don't reckon we'll get 50, we will. Yeah, Thomas might have just given a little left jab there. Mules goes down, and we've got a 25 metre, and sorry to say it, but this has been happening most of the day.
That was certainly there too. Dumped Backwell very late after the incident. That's it. Again, just some undisciplined acts coming in. And you'd imagine Mouse Backwell should kick this one.
Brett Backwell from 35 metres out directly in front. This will take it to about 91 points, I think. And he's just hit it across the face.
Some great work across the half-back line from Willits back a couple of minutes ago, though. He's been very impressive today, the big fella.
This is Backwell there. His father was picked in the Queensland Team of the Century. Owen Backwell, a two-time medalist in the Queensland competition. Here's Fisher, the turnover, and back it comes. Logan deserves a goal, but the mark right on the line to Rogers. Easy as you like. Oh, to be a Bays fan this afternoon. 5 for Rogers, and they're just careering away.
In an ordinary kick out from goals. Just numbers around the pack again, willing to throw it around. Logan, if you give him the benefit of the doubt, was he looking for Rogers? Or was he going for goals? But finished off with another goal. Just a run, continuing to run really hard and use each other, which is very good science for Glenelg.
About 9 goals in this term. What an amazing quarter of football from the Bays. I'll go forward again through Moore. We've seen the tough old days. Ben Moore, he'd be loving this.
Great eyes.
Magnificent kick too to Backwell. Now he'll probably kick this from a long way out as he sprayed it to the other side. Well, one to the left, one to the right.
Yeah, should get those, Mouse. There is bread and butter. Great eyes by Mitchell though there. He was right over on this half-forward flank. Saw Backwell out on his own.
24 possessions to Brett Backwell today, 16 kicks, 8 handballs.
Officer, if that's not indicative of Central's day, they're just slow out of the blocks, and then the hand pass put him under pressure. Gets the return from Slade down to half forward, or half back if you like. It'll come back straight over his head. Sunquist, delivery to Rogers, confident, just went through the hands off to Hyde. And they'll attack again through O'Sullivan. Elijah Ware stretched. Now he looks up. Nothing much back there. Wilson's calling long, but goes short instead to Graham. Graham goes inside half forward for Schooler. Makes the big man work. Sherwood works off him. Goes long. Backwell's in space. Plenty of space. They'll do well to shut him down. Backwell moves towards half forward. Goes for Doldig. Doldig pulls in a great grab. Well, confidence is sky high at Glenelg.
He looked like he didn't have a chance of that. He looked like he was out of position. Then all of a sudden, last minute sort of push towards the footy, and he got it. And we're having a shot at goal after inside.
Again. So from wide out, Doldig. And way narrow. Minus score. So three-quarter time. And Central's are copping a pasting. The margin at three-quarter time, 94 points. And Nick Chidwin, let's have a look through those goal kickers, and there's been plenty for the Bays.
You see Rogers there with 5, McConnell 3 off the half-back, and then you've got a few there, Fisher, Mitchell, Douglas with a couple each, and for old Central's only 4 single goal kickers there.
And what do the stats tell us, other than the Bays are winning by plenty?
Centre breaks, obviously inside 50s. Glenelg are pretty dominant in most areas there. Look at 78 marks to 38. and just absolutely thumping him with the kicks as well. So very dominant performance by Glenelg at this stage.
Enjoy it, Bays fans. Here's the final quarter with Michael.
Pride on the line in the last quarter for Central District. They trail Glenelg by 94 points in the centre. Free kick's been plucked out and it'll go to the Bays, so everything running for them at the moment. Adam Fisher, the man with the free kick, last year's best and fairest, kicks them forward in front. Gee, Smith and Rogers have presented so well for the Bays this afternoon. Smith kicks it inside 50, hoping for Mark. Rogers at the back upset his teammate, and that was Ruwat who was going for the mark. This is Dutschke. Obst got in his way, but finally he spread the ball to Westhoff. Westhoff has been okay for them. Shown a few signs, young Westhoff.
Yeah, I think he's done all right.
Awkward kicking style. And in the end, free kick may go against Wilson, will it? It's coming back and it goes to Sundquist, who spots up Panozzo, who's just found a couple of inches of space on Mackenzie. The modern game, switching from one side of the ground to the other. No one inside the Central District forward half at all. The mark taken by Mitchell for the Bays. David Mitchell, 17 kicks and 3 handballs last week. Couple of goals today. He's been inaccurate. 2-3.
20 possessions today as well.
Been a handy player. He's played a little bit further out from goal, which is really giving Glenelg a spark. Ball on the ground now. The umpire says that's against you, young Cane officer. Is it Dutschke? It's Dutschke.
Mitchell, through the trial games and some of the early games this year, has been playing through the midfield, which does add another element to Glenelg with that long, powerful kick.
The free kick going to the big man in Matthew Duldick, the number 25. Well, it'll take a fairly decent roost from there. You know, he's kicking probably a little bit better than some of the rest of us.
Especially with this wind, I think it's probably going to be a pretty tough kick. Might just put it to the square. I'll have a look.
See what he comes up with. He's put it to the head of the boundary umpire.
No, not a great effort, that. But probably can afford to get away with it at the minute. Had to jump the fence to get the footy. You think someone in the crowd would have helped him there?
It's just that gap between the advertising hoarding there and the fence. It's where the sight screen goes during the cricket season. So a little bit of territory where the spectators can't get. Brooks now, play on at all costs, it seems, for Centrals. Elijah Ware, centre wing, in front of the Victor Richardson gates. Drops it in to Sibanayala. Sibanayala plays on. Yes, gone. Gone in a big way. Hinge picks up the crumb. Goes to his fellow blonde and Fisher. It's on behind play. Keep an eye on that, Michael. It's off to Mitchell, inside 50. Perfect delivery. Doldig on the lead. There's the action behind play. As if they haven't spent enough energy chasing bodies this afternoon, Centrals. And being chased, Glenelg. Michael, let's have your blow-by-blow account.
Oh, well, that's the thing about it. There weren't any blows.
Yeah. Not an easy kick for Matty Doldig. He'd want to get this. He hasn't kicked brilliantly in front of goals today.
This for a 100-point margin. Doldig lays back. Wait on the goal umpire, minus score. He hasn't kicked well today. He's obviously disappointed with that. That Tiger fan will be very pleased with the outing this afternoon. Sitting up proud and strong, the Tigers.
A bit glary too.
Yes, the Tigers anything but stuffed.
They are going well. Symes just uses Francis. And this is what they've been doing. This is Obst. They've just been chipping it around and they haven't been able to get any structure going at all. Symes. James Gowns will take the mark. They're still at half back and they've had 3 or 4 possessions, but that's nothing new in modern day footy. Gowans down the line, good kick, spots up Thomas, so they're getting there in inches. Thomas hoping for a mark from Mackenzie, but Panozzo, when the kick died, Panozzo was there, read it well. to Lucas Block. Mills has got some work to do against Wilson, and Wilson did pretty well. Mills also fighting for it, taken by O'Sullivan. The chip kick finds Slade, and the first opportunity for a while that we've seen for the Doggies to kick a goal. Matthew Slade has kicked one this afternoon. He's worked hard, he's tackled hard, his stats haven't been huge, but he's certainly put in every effort. Matthew Slade will kick from 45, and I think he might have just threaded it through. A much-needed goal to the Bulldogs. That will gladden the heart of their coach, Roy Laird. Well, he hasn't got any hair, and there he is, the man in the middle. Well, Mark Micken must have been a happy man. Let's have a listen to what he had to say at three-quarter time.
All right, just keep playing your role as you're supposed to play and keep the intensity around the ball. That's really served us well. 34 handballs received that quarter. Okay, 34 handballs received. That means we've got people running and people prepared to work. And the defensive aspect has been there too. When they've got it, we've been able to hold them up. And that's really important. Don't renege on that, because that's how we're getting the ball back. We've held them up and they've had to kick it high. And if they kick it high, we're a chance. All right? So get yourself your head around the fact, forget the scoreboard, it's what we do. It's how we play that's important. It's how we play. It's all about getting strong over the ball, giving the ball up when it's there, protecting the ball carrier and playing for the team. Okay? Let's go. Let's finish off.
Perhaps they didn't like to hear the message again, the boys, because Wilson has marked inside forward 50, a chance for a second goal in a couple of minutes for Central District. Mark Micken has had, obviously, Chiggy, a remarkable effect on the Bays thus far. A SA Hall of Fame member, lots of AFL experience with Brisbane and Adelaide. And coaching experience also with a few clubs. Wilson away to the left for the minor school.
Yeah, certainly Mark's doing a great job down there. He's got some great support with Stephen Rowe as an assistant and Peter Caven as well. And I think it's just an excellent coaching team with a good bunch of kids to work with.
Chance for the Bulldogs to go forward. Symes again. Slade, underground handball. He's got to work hard to get a free kick. Ben Moore has lost sight of the footy. Symes didn't have it. He kicks long to a 2-on-1 situation. Plenty of Tigers there. Lovely handball out the back. O'Sullivan will kick a goal. Brilliant work by the Doggies. O'Sullivan's just stuck at it all day. Happy Dogs fans there, but they need about another 15 of those, Nick.
Absolutely. Yeah, O'Sullivan has been good, I think, though. In what's been a pretty hard day for most Central players. He's certainly found a fair bit of the footy. Again, the Bay boys just have dropped off. Obviously, they've worked pretty hard up to this stage of the game, and Central just finding a little bit of space and a good finish there by O'Sullivan, but he's been a good player.
Quick hands by Wilson too to get that out.
12 and 5 for O'Sullivan today.
Margin back to 82 points. Thomas just got himself in a tangle there. Dutschke showing him how to do it. Off to Chris Gowans. Flanking him was Symes inside 50. Hard on the lead was McKenzie. Willits through the pack. Oh, now he's in trouble. Had support. This has been the story for the Bays this afternoon. Sherwood drops it in short. That results in a turnover. Chris Gowans inside 50. Lines up the goal. And, well, Panozzo got back. And umpire ruled it was touch. So quickly, off they go again, and Backwell's got it.
Chris Gowans doesn't normally miss those. Good work by the big man in Kirk. James Gowans on the mark. Nearly 9 minutes gone, final term. 81 points the difference in favour of Glenelg. Yes, in favour of Glenelg if you've just switched on. Free kick will go to Smith. Advantage rule paid. Now Ruwald, kick one in the third, lines them up and draws it back for another one. Well, that was for all money heading for a behind. A little bit of a Damien Fleming outswinger.
Yeah,
and away you go.
Kicking into that breeze, I think, certainly was the advantage there. Bit of a nudge there. Probably fell over a little bit as well. But Rewalt running into an open goal. From our position, it looked like it was going for a point, but then just came back with that win in the end, which is a good settle there for Glenelg. Obviously, Centrals couldn't get back and win from here, but Glenelg want to finish the game off very strongly.
Cranston over the top of the middle. Still a ball in dispute. Knocked out by McKenzie. That was high. And then some. Dutschke drops it out wide. Symes again. This is how they did it last time out of the centre square. Over the top. Looking for O'Sullivan. Panozzo, good pace. Nice. Oh, Douglas dropped it. Goes up the line with the hand pass, gets it back again, goes up the line with the hand pass. Gets it back again. Nice little one to Logan. Logan down to half forward, fumbled there by Rogers on the dive. Gee, Douglas, even when he makes a mistake, he looks good.
I was going to say, at least we've seen him make a mistake today, but he still gets it back and wins it.
Have to admire that. So does Benny Mules. Just taking a rest.
Yeah, the skipper just having a spell. He's been pretty good today. Unassuming as always, a man of few words. He's been replaced by Justin McConnell, who's also been excellent today.
Here's David Mitchell, a man of a lot of metres, particularly from a long way out. David Mitchell seems to ram them home, but from 10, running into an open goal, he misses.
He probably just tried to overkick it. Yeah, he just had to actually head it through the goals, but you see, he gives it a little roost here. Some great hands here, though. Gave it to Mitchell on the inside. I think it was Rogers, and should have kicked that one.
To a relative up in the stand there.
Flock to Sharon.
Central slow to bring it back in. It's been their game all day. A bit slow, Centrals. They get it out towards half back. Thomas. Hand passing over the top. And eventually it's taken over the line by McConnell, who was close to best on ground, certainly in the first half.
Yeah, I think you'd have to say he's probably been the most influential player on the ground. He's certainly had a lot of the footy and used it very well.
Dutschke been prominent the last few minutes. Taken to ground in the tackle of Logan. That's not something he'd relish. Tom Logan, tough man. Comes free again. No, only briefly.
I like McConnell, like he's a very attacking half-backer, but he has laid a couple of really good tackles as well today, so does do the hard things as well as uses his flair.
I don't know if North Ballarat would have experienced these conditions too often either. Ballarat traditionally cold and very often wet. These conditions perfect if you're a running half-back. Speaking of running, here's Elijah Ware. Drives it long for Central's awkward-looking kick. Wilson goes back. Ball goes out of bounds in front of a scoreboard that reads impressively. Again, if you're a Bays fan, if you're a Centrals fan, you'll be saying, well, remember what happened last year? We started like this, we ended pretty well. Does look impressive, though, if you're a Tigers fan. And it's been some years since the Tigers have been a force. They last made the finals in 1999, so they'll take all they can get just at this stage. Slade, middle of the ground. This side of the ground, he's got to play a loose in Westhoff. Westhoff strolls off, then he decides I'd better kick it, and he says, nah, just can't make the distance. And that'll be 25, surely. Well, you wonder about that. And now it's shepherding on the mark, and he's going to bring it back. Well, you can't shepherd a player who's actually standing the mark. And so that ball's been brought back, and the Bays will get it again, and Willets will take the mark in the back pocket, and they'll set up.
He's been good today, Willets. Sherwood can't take it, but he'll be happy to get it to the line. Just some part of it out.
Sorry, Sherwood's been good as well. I think he's just been at the Bay for a while, been a great recruit, and been very impressive again today.
Well, back to the state a couple of years ago, Paul Sherwood. Free kick to Paul Schooler for a ruck infringement. And he's going to kick it as if it's not going okay for Glenelg at the moment. He's decided he's going to kick it that way. Oh, there's a leap. A beauty too by Panozzo. Well, has he got his game together at the moment, Luke Panozzo? He looks as good as I've ever seen him for the Bays. He has made a big step up. Kicks to the outer side. Burdett. The switch is on again. The kick. Sunquist, did that bounce?
Oh, looked very close.
Umpire Stephen Grun. Definitely got the contact lenses in this afternoon on that one. Let's have a look. Ooh.
Bit of a half volley nearly, you'd say.
They might just go for the third umpire there, Jiggy.
Yes.
Moore to a pack. Westhoff. This time the kick's okay to Wilson. Well, he did go on. Umpire calls him. He's got to squeeze a kick down the line and put himself under pressure. Young Wilson. There's another change down there. Young Westhoff coming off, Mark. He's had a reasonable day for the doggies.
He has had a little bit of it. He was good last week, actually, in their best players against Port Adelaide. Put on a bit of weight over summer. He's been changing all day with Chad Norsworthy, and Norsworthy on again now.
McKenzie slayed it down. Wilson, the kick to that man Panozzo, who's racking up the possessions at the moment. Left foot, right foot doesn't bother him. Burdett.
17 for Panozzo, and he had one in the first quarter.
Slow start, but he's got better as the game's gone on. I think this is Ruwalt, who's just can't find a way through.
Yeah, it's just overusing the footy there, looking for something that's not actually on. But it has worked for him most of the day, so at least they're trying things. But in that situation, the boys just trying to get that run that wasn't there.
And I was looking at the replay, and Elijah Ware, was it? Thank you very much, Neil Cross. Elijah Ware has kicked the goal. So another one to the doggies. And they get a bit closer, but I tell you what, they've certainly been outplayed today. There he is, Elijah Ware. Terrific play. Good to see him back. He's got a couple of goals now.
Yeah, he's played all right too. He's done a few impressive things, got great hands and lovely skills. So when Centrals get their game up and running, he's going to be a very good player.
He's had 13 and 3 today. The top ball getter on the ground is actually on the losing side. Brad Symes has had 28 possessions. Brett Backwell's had 27 for the Bays.
Well, they certainly worked harder in this quarter, Centrals, but it's hard to assess what they're doing, of course, because as you know, if you're a Bays player, there is a tendency, let's face it, to drop away.
Yeah, there is, but Centrals seem to be hitting in and being the first at the footy, so if they'd done this all day, it would certainly be a lot closer game. Well,
they've won 14 of their past 15 against Glenelg. Their only blemish was when Glenelg beat Centrals last year at the Bay by 44 points. So when they lose big to the Bays. And we'll get one over the shoulder there, so it'll be a free kick to Sunquist when he stands up. Spent 5 years with Sydney, a Glenelg junior. 5 years for 9 games with Sydney. 8 of those, I think it was 2002, he played 8 of those games.
Very unlucky with injury when he was over there. I think they affected the number of games he played.
And the number of games, the number of stats he's got this afternoon's been pretty impressive.
This is his 20th possession coming up.
20 possessions. Trying to go to McConnell, who's had plenty off the half-back flank as well. Good from Ruwalt, put pressure on. Chris Gowans just taps it. Wilson drops it up for Graham. He must be thinking, am I going to get crunched here? Looks around. Where was the target? Douglas comes, punches it down. Slade couldn't get a foot to the ball. Good strength by Hinge. Unhinged Slade. Ball back into the centre corridor. And Mitchell, who on some days with a win behind him, maybe at Noarlunga, would be thinking, I can kick this. Instead, he goes exactly the other way. Well, not exactly the other way, but certainly across the ground. Willits. Oh, Willits got his hand signals mixed up. But in the end, the Bays scramble it down to centre-half forward. Nicely done by Francis. And then undid his good work by kicking it straight back to Willits, who says, well, perhaps my left foot's better. On this occasion, it was. He goes to the left-footed Logan. Logan from 80. Pumps it long. McConnell will come late. Into the hands and out. Doldick from this distance. Can he kick a goal? This time he can. Well, he's had trouble with his kicking this afternoon, but from the square, there's usually not too many problems.
That's his second goal. He's had a few opportunities, and yeah, he'll be glad just to get that on the board, I think. It's quick movement in. Tom Logan's had a good day. McConnell launches himself again. Just footy comes over the back. Central would have wanting to keep that footy forward all the time. Over the back, it becomes very dangerous.
Special comments by Nick Chigwitten, who was drafted by the Sydney Swans in 1988, number 36. Nick, you loved it so much up there, you never even went up there.
No, mate, stay with the Bays.
Number 3 selection Sydney used on Nick Chigwitten, but he decided not to go. Too much happening at the Bays. Plenty happening for them today. Burdett. Brilliant kick. And it's been marked by Smith, is it? Look at it. Presenting so well. And that's what Rogers and Smith bring to this team. Fast leading. The kick to Ben Moore, who's about 15 metres closer, 20 metres closer. And the former skipper, who's worked pretty hard today, as to have the other 20 players for Glenelg. And Ben Moore can be rewarded with a good game with his first goal.
Interesting to see how Benny goes into that bit of a breeze here. I would say it's going to be right on his limit. Tired legs, it might fall just short. But yeah, the forwards have presented brilliantly today.
It's 28-year-old legs. You had plenty of kick in you, 28, Jiggy.
And mate, couldn't kick over a jam tin.
Moore has kicked behind.
It's terrible, Michael. He's kicked it like a firefighter.
Of course, Ben Moore missed quite a bit of last season when he was doing his work for the fire service, or trying to
doing the training to get in.
Do the training. Yep.
Centrals bring the ball in long. Sibinala with that fist into space. Wilson will close on it first. Nice gather, and he was gathered in quickly. And we'll get a ball up centre wing. Just see who emerges from that pack. Gee, Wilson stopped dead in his tracks.
Cranston, I think, is it?
Cranston, big Trevor Cranston. Showed a lot of strength there. Cranston now brings it down to his side's advantage. Eventually gets a hand pass out. Logan went out the back. Sundqvist was there. Sundqvist then back to Logan. Finds some space on centre wing. Drives it up looking for Backwell. Got rid of his man nicely. Now he runs onto it, Backwell. He'll look for a short pass and delivers on the half volley to Mitchell. And again Backwell. Oh, lovely, round the corner. Doldig gathered, sold the dummy, lines up, and narrow with the shot. Just couldn't get it around there, Matthew Doldig. Started his football career at Millicent and is a development officer with the Adelaide Football Club in the AFL.
Bit inaccurate today, Matt Doldig. 2 goals, 3 by my reckoning. Cranston knocks away from Mackenzie. Dutschke, too quick for officer, squirted out. Is that a throw? Umpire probably won't mind that. Moore. Free kick was paid. Burdett, brilliant kick. That is a brilliant kick. That's not the first time Burdett's delivered in that fashion.
No, he's got lovely skills. Where that goal's been set up from those, just those couple of tackles on the half-forward line there for Glenelg. They're just not letting Centrals run with the footy. Every time they get it, they're under real pressure, and they just kept fighting and fighting, and then opened up. And again, another big man, Kirk this time, presented brilliantly from the forward line.
Well, Daniel Kirk can cap off a good day with a goal. They lead by 90 points. This to take it out to 96 with a good kick from Daniel Kirk. And he's going to have to come around a fair way if that's to be a goal. He's missed.
And, Centrals are lucky Glenelg have let them off the hook a little bit here. They've certainly missed at least 3 or 4 goals that they could have got that weren't that hard. But when you look at that 142 to 51, it's probably they would have taken that at the start of the day.
Do you think?
Slightly.
This has pepped up the Bays so much. They have not won a premiership in any grade for 13 seasons. The rumblings are starting already. Dutschke sold himself into trouble and then said, James, you have it. James Gowans, that is. Long into half forward. From behind Ware. Douglas was good. One-touch player. Off to Backwell. Knew he had a player in space. Went for Mitchell. Running for him. Well, Ruwalt and Logan. Ruwalt. Oh, he ran a long way. He ran too far. He'll be called back. And the free kick will go to Centrals.
Yes, I think that was probably there, wasn't it? You needed to throw the little bounce in there somewhere.
Yes, and it made it pretty easy for the umpire too. The run was all straight ahead, so he had plenty of time to assess how far he'd run. Ball knocked forward, off to Hyde. Slade, Dutchke, hit as he kicked it. Umpire said it was after. Where? Well, where he is at half forward, and he gets the free kick, and/or it was a mark anyway, so he goes inside 50 with his kick. Ben Moore comes from behind, knocks it away from Officer, who gathers now, and then just drops it into James Gowans. So does, I noticed there that Rogers just about to come back on the ground. Has he had any problem, or is it just a matter that we'll give him a rest?
Yeah, I think he's just had a spell. They put Kirk up forward to give Rogers a bit of a break, and he's all right. He's just had a bit of a rub, and he's ready to go.
And what's with the wheels? Are they runners or what? They certainly look like it, don't they? They certainly look like they might be runners.
Thinks he's doing it that easy today and go out with his runners on.
Adelaide Oval surface is pretty good, but I don't know if it's got the grip of, say, I don't know, a basketball court.
The change down there with McConnell coming off the ground. He's a bit sore, McConnell. He went off earlier. And Rogers back on with those, look like cricket spikes, to be honest. This is Burdett. Now, he normally pinpoints a target. How is he going this time? He's pinpointed a target. Okay, wrong colour. Off to Hyde. Just snuck back and got it to Symes at half-back. Where will be the target here? Player on further is James Gowans. Likes to kick on the left boot. Norsworthy. Some of these young second-tier players. Norsworthy and this man here, Obst, need to really step up. Good mark. Runs in and misses. The experience not quite there. Got himself steadied. An awkward drop onto the boot. Sprayed it away. There you go.
Just look like normal runners, don't they? I think. But,
no. They've got some sort of blade on there.
It'd be groin trouble if you had just runners, I reckon.
Ben Moore takes the mark at half-back. Runs his way up past centre wing. Inside 50. Kirk says step aside to Rogers. I'll take it. He can just drop it across. He does. Now he's set up his teammate. Sibanala knocks it from behind. Rogers says this is how you do it. Gives it to Doldig. Doldig then goes back to the left foot of Logan, and Logan steps over a player, kicks a goal. Well, it's that easy for the Tigers. There was almost training pressure on there from Centrals. And I think more than anything, that would be disappointing for Roy Laird this afternoon. Let's have another look at how the Bays engineered this goal.
Yeah, the heat's gone out of the game. Again, always somewhere to use. The left foot of Logan was a good option there too. And he's a class player, he finishes it off well. But yeah, Glenelg continue to work hard.
Would Mark Micken want the 100 points now? Would it say, look, let's get this 100 points, or wouldn't that phase him?
I don't think it would really phase him. What he's seen today is just the systems the boys have got in place and the structures, and it's all working. And it's been a great result for the Glenelg Footy Club.
He's got no chance of getting it now. What a big win. A 96-point drubbing by Glenelg over Centrals. Glenelg 22-16, 148. Have thrashed the reigning premiers Central 7-11-53. What a victory. The Tigers in full control all of the game, Nick Chingwood.
Yeah, they certainly were. There weren't too many passengers out there today. It was very much a team effort. And Centrals, on the other hand, struggled there. I don't think there were too many winners there at all. Elijah Ware was all right for him. O'Sullivan was quite good. But Tom Logan, he played a great game for Glenelg. We saw Douglas, a young bloke, step up and show the skills that he's got. Backwell, an old hand there in Sherwood. But certainly a very good game for the Glenelg Footy Club.
Justin McConnell, one of the very, very impressive players for the Bays. He's with Sodas.
Yeah, he certainly was impressive. Neil, Justin, it was a very clinical display and cleaned up last year's premiers.
Yeah, it's a bit of a surprise, I suppose, the margin in the end, but we worked pretty hard over pre-season with fit, and we ran it out pretty well, so it's good.
I thought one of the real features of the game today was just the decision-making and the delivery into the forward line. Just picked it out beautifully, and you, of course, had some guys in attack presenting well.
Yeah, they presented well. It's easy to hit targets, I suppose, when the defenders work hard, and makes it easier for us midfielders to run and create, and hopefully the forwards can finish it off as they did today.
And of course, you've made the trek over here from North Ballarat. You're obviously enjoying your time in the SANFL.
Yeah, love it. It's good weather, better than Ballarat, freezing cold, but nah, it's good. I love it over here. So hopefully we can get a few more wins and sneak in the finals. Which would be good.
Well done for the club. Well done for yourself, mate. Great start to the SANFL. Have a good Easter.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, mate.
Justin McConnell and the Bays will very much enjoy that match this afternoon and that result, and it looks like that. Look at that, 20 points, 42 points at half-time, 94 at three-quarter time, 95 points the winning margin in favour of the Bays.
Certainly a good day out for the Boys. Centrals did have quite a few out, but you look at the goal kickers there. Rogers 5, finished with 5. McConnell 3, who we just spoke to. A quality player off the halfback, gives them so much drive. And then a series of 2s there with the midfield type players. Ware was dangerous for Centrals, as we said, when he got the footy, but finished with 2, same as Slade.
And statistically, obviously, as you would expect, the Bays dominating.
Yeah, if you look at the kicks there, 213 to 173, handballs 115 to 102, centre breaks and inside 50 certainly tell the story. Glenelg just had a lot more opportunities to kick goals because they're inside 50 and absolutely dominated the centre breaks. So all-round good effort by Glenelg there.
Fantastic victory in our first match of the afternoon, with Glenelg winning by 95 points. Stay with us. Coming up, the second of our matches in the